Hi, welcome to Happy Tales. I'm Cheryl Rosenthal, Education and Communications Coordinator here at the Oshkosh Area Humane Society.
And I'm Joni Geiger, Executive Director.
And today, Joni, we're going to clean up. We're going to show everybody the behind the scenes of what we do every morning before we open to the public. We clean, and then we clean some more.
That's right, we do. And so there's a lot to see today, so we hope that, again, this helps people to understand why we open later in the day. So with that, let's get started.
Let's get started.
So this is one of the areas that, Cheryl, obviously we have to clean every single day. These are small mammals, and this is our small mammal room. And right now we currently just have one rabbit, but we can very often have up to 5. And rabbits, anybody who's had rabbits recognize that
they're messy.
Yeah.
They're messy.
They like to eat and poop and
right. Well, and I think it's important to explain also that our rabbits are litter box trained.
Right. Correct.
But because they're eating Timothy hay and different things, they are messy.
Right, exactly.
And they need to be, cleaned on a daily basis.
Right.
This isn't something that you can just say, oh, well, I'll get at it tomorrow.
Right. And a clean environment, obviously, for them reinforces that litter box training.
Exactly.
And so it's something that we have to do over and over again. We also have other small mammals. Currently, we don't have some, but, maybe we should tell the folks.
We get hamsters
right.
and gerbils and guinea pigs, and we also sometimes get
ferrets.
Mm-hmm. Oftentimes our ferrets, they'll go to the ferret rescue.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And but we do see a lot of small mammals, or what some people call pocket pets.
Right.
So before people go out and purchase a pet like that, I would hope that they would, check with the Humane Society and
right.
also learn. We have an expert small mammal person here on staff.
We do.
So if somebody is wondering exactly what is the care, what do these little animals eat, what is a good environment for them to thrive in, Carrie is the person that
right.
they should
right.
be contacting here at the shelter.
And they really do require a lot of maintenance. I mean, they just aren't, in a cage and you forget about them.
Right. Well, I think it's true, Joni, if people would put it in perspective, what if you only lived in one room?
Right.
And that was your bathroom, that was your kitchen, that was your bedroom. So you want to keep it very clean, because
Absolutely.
if you don't, these animals are going to fall prey to diseases.
Right. Absolutely. So maybe we should move on to another part of the cleaning and the maintenance that we do every morning.
Okay, let's go.
Well, Cheryl, we're back here in our caregiving area, and we also, obviously, we have cats on our adoption area, but we also have cats in our back.
Cats waiting to go up for adoption.
Right. So this is what we call our hallway area, and we have cages in our main hallway here, and this is where a lot of our overflow of cats
right, because
are.
we have so many. Again, we've spent the whole summer with 200 plus cats
right.
coming, under our care at one time,
right.
and so we have to go someplace with them. In our foster homes, when they're full, we utilize the cages here in the back hallway. And to make sure that we're not cross-contaminating, we label the cages from the very healthy cats to those that are iffy. They may be coming down with an
right.
upper respiratory infection, and then those that are very sick. And so we label them so that we're cleaning the healthiest cats first, then the middle cats,
right.
and then the very sick cats again, so that we're not spreading disease. So it can be a little complicated for our cleaners and to keep it all straight. And again, it's so important to clean every day, again, so that we're keeping disease down.
And you made a very good point, because we consider these all what we call pods. In other words, and that's why you need one individual, specific people to clean a pod, and then
right.
they don't go and contaminate another pod. So
right.
there are actually 7 workers every single morning, 9 when you count what we do for the dogs. So we're here very early in the morning, prepping the whole building, cleaning the whole building, getting everything
right.
ready.
Well, every single animal has to be looked at.
Every
and
single
cleaned.
animal.
Litter, food, water,
right.
and And so it's very important that we have the signage that we do so that everybody knows, so that nobody gets overlooked.
Right. So, and we even have obviously cages in what we call our black or purple cages that are set-up cages that we can roll and move and kind of be more mobile about that. And those also have to be cleaned. So there's a lot of, again, those are part of the pod, those are part of the areas that we have to clean on a regular basis. And this actually takes several hours, anywhere from 3 to 4 hours. Our shifts are that long.
So when somebody is cleaning one of the cat cages, to relieve the stress on the animal, we have now started a procedure where we don't physically remove the animal from the cage. And so we kind of clean around the animal, especially, well, we don't do it with the dogs, but we do it with the cats because it's been proven in studies that when you keep removing the cat from the environment and changing everything, it can be very stressful. And that leads to their immune system being challenged and more likely to get upper respiratory. So that's an added challenge because you're trying to change the water, scoop out the litter box and provide new food without the cats escaping, and of course they want to climb all over you.
And no question that absolutely is it, because you know they're seeking out your affection, and then just like you said, you're trying to give them fresh food, and you're trying to give them water, and you're trying to shake out their blanket, and you're trying to scoop them, but the whole idea is to keep them in the territory, keep their scent in that
so that they feel more comfortable.
They feel more comfortable, and they're obviously it keeps them healthier. It isn't about necessarily just disinfecting. It's about keeping that stress level down as low as you can.
Also, every morning, Joni, when we're cleaning, we're also feeding. All of the cats get a little dab of wet food, and it's not necessarily just because it's a treat of wet food. It's also because we're putting an immune booster in there to help cats that are already sick to get over their upper respiratory. For animals that are not ill, we also use a product called Astragula, and that's also put in the wet food. So not only are they getting a food treat, we're giving them something to help their immune system while they're here at the shelter. And we do this every single morning, and with over 200 plus cats, that's why we go through a lot of small paper plates and we cut them in half, as you can see that Ann is doing, and then she puts the immune booster in there, and then it's kind of like serving breakfast. Breakfast is served. So
woohoo! And this is absolutely true, Cheryl, and I think it's important to remember that this is every single cat. So we can't miss
somebody. Everybody, and then they have to stay there to make sure that everybody's eating, and that you're not eating mine, and I'm not eating yours, or I'm not eating everybody's.
Sure, and there are some benefits, obviously, to wet food as well. We know that cats that are under stress here at the shelter have a tendency maybe to drop some weight. So we want to keep that weight up. We want to keep keep them happy.
And it's been proven that cats that eat wet food absorb more moisture from their canned food than they actually do from drinking water.
That's right.
So if we have cats in the galleries or in the rescue area or in a condo that isn't necessarily drinking enough water, having that moist food can also ensure that they are getting some liquid or moisture into their body.
So it's obviously it's twofold. It obviously has two benefits, and again, something we do every single day for every single cat that's in the building. So this can be extremely time consuming, but it's part of what we do here.
Well, here again, it's something that we have to do, and that's why we need staff that knows what needs to be done, and they keep on a timely manner and get it done.
Okay, well, let's move on then, Cheryl. Well, Cheryl, let's talk about one of the more glamorous sides of the shelter work.
We have been all along, cleaning. It's just what everybody wants to be doing, but we have to do the cleaning, and along with that comes dishpan hands.
Yes, absolutely.
We do a lot of hand washing here. We have to we wash all the food bowls by hand. We use stainless steel bowls for that very reason, because they're easy to disinfect, so we want to wash the bowls. We also have to wash all of the toys that the animals use, and all of the litter boxes, and all of the litter box scoops. We do wash those on a daily basis.
Everybody gets their individual scoop, obviously, because again, we're controlling disease, you know,
Right.
because if someone has coccidia or maybe worms or whatever the case might be, obviously they're treated for it, but one of the ways it's passed on is by sharing scoops.
Right.
So obviously, you know, if you're talking 100 litter boxes, that's 100 scoops every
Right.
single
All day.
day. So the other thing, obviously, is laundry is like, it's an unending task
We do between
here.
30 and 40 loads of laundry a day.
Right.
And granted, we do have one industrial wash machine, and then we have 4 regular dryers because that's more efficient,
Yeah.
so that we can get things dried. But again, we have bedding. If we give cats or dogs a bath, we have all the towels from that. We use towels for a lot of different things, wiping down the kennels,
Yeah.
wiping up different areas. We just do a lot of laundry.
Well, we
wash.
have to.
We also wash the leashes. We also wash all the stuffed toys, both cat toys and dog toys. We put them in special zip
Bags,
bags
yep, and
to
then
put them in the
everybody- yep,
wash machine.
yep.
But here again, it's all about controlling any possibility of any type of disease.
Right.
And you know, there could be that attitude of, well, do you really have to do that every day? But you know, Joni, all it takes is one
right.
dog to touch another dog or another thing that has some bacteria or germs on it, and they can be infected.
That's absolutely
and
right.
so we really need to, on a daily basis, be doing these things. It
Right.
isn't, it's not like a home environment where you're kind of living in your own
Sure.
dirt. It's a shelter environment where there's
Right.
animals coming and going, and you never know who's going to catch what
Sure.
when.
And again, you know, I just want to stress, this is 7 days a week,
7 days a week.
365
Yeah,
days a
we
year.
don't, you know, it's kind of like if you live on a dairy farm, you have to milk those
Yeah,
cows every
you
day.
just keep
We
doing it.
can't just say, well, you know, it's a holiday. Nobody's coming in to take care of the animals,
Right,
and
right.
and I'm sure that you know that wouldn't sit very well with the community.
Yeah.
So we're here every single day, making sure that everybody is not only fed and exercised, but that they're living in a stress-free as possible environment and germ-free. We're trying to keep it as clean as we possibly can.
As clean as we possibly can. Okay, well, let's move on, Cheryl.
Okay.
Well, Cheryl, here we are in our dog area where the animals that are available for adoption are obviously getting cleaned, and
Right.
this is an every single day process, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Right.
Obviously, you know, it's the right thing to do is to give them a clean environment, to disinfect properly, and it's a process.
Right. So the dogs have to be let out. Of course, that's the first thing we do in the morning is
Right.
let the dogs out. And then, of course, we have to pick up all the bowls, pick up the toys, pick up any chewies that they have. Make sure that those go into the right washing area.
That's right.
Inside the shelter. Then they hose down the kennels, and they also hose down the crates that the dogs are in. They let that sit, I believe, for a
That's
little while
the disinfecting.
to disinfect, and then they come back and rinse. And then after they're done rinsing, then they actually towel dry the crates, the walls, and all the glass.
Right.
Then they make sure that the crate is nice and dry. Again, they put in clean bedding, clean bowls, all new toys, and all new chewies. And then they allow the dog to come back into its
Right.
environment. So you do that, 29 times. And you want to make sure that you're, getting everybody back in the right location.
Sure.
And like you said, that's a daily thing.
Yeah, it's a daily thing.
And it isn't just the inside, because we also have to do the outside.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So-
And this is a two-man job. I mean, this is something, and these guys are moving. I mean, they're
Right.
moving
Well,
and grooving here. So
they have to start first thing in the morning, and they have to be done by noon, by the
Right.
time that we
By
open
the time
up.
we open up.
So we want to make sure that the dogs are back in their kennels, well settled, and ready to be viewed by the public.
Right,
So,
right.
So everybody is really hustling around the building
Yeah.
before we're open.
yeah, this is just, we've made a commitment to always have a clean and disinfectant environment for all our animals. That, the fact that we're caring for them here, it's our responsibility to make
Right.
sure that they're properly cared for, and we want to do the very best we
Right.
can, and that really is very intense work.
Right. Well, and a lot of times people will come in the afternoon and they'll say, "Oh, I just walked through your kennels and there's no smell, and it's always so pleasant here."
Right.
And part of that is because we're cleaning every
Right.
single day, and then we're also spot cleaning throughout the day.
Right.
So if a pet has an accident or goes to the bathroom in their kennel,
Sure.
we're not just going to, well, we'll leave that until later today. We're always cleaning those up, mopping in between to make sure that we're keeping the environment clean.
Right, and I think we need to address too that sometimes people want to know why we're not open in the mornings. This is why. There is a lot of work going on behind the scenes that we just have to do.
Well, and it isn't a safe environment for people to come in and walking around.
Yeah.
The floors are slippery. People are, bustling around.
Right.
It's really not conducive to have people coming in and trying to view the animals. Not that it's unpleasant for the animals, but it's disruptive.
It's very disruptive, and it's very difficult, and of course you have to stay on point. So obviously that's one of the reasons we do wait until and open up till noon and then extend our hours longer.
Exactly.
So, all right, well, let's move on.
Okay. Well, Joni, it's very important for people to understand that while we're cleaning on the inside, there has to be somebody outside exercising the dogs and making sure that they get their morning run, their morning walk, and taking care of business on the outside. So Julie's out here this morning playing with Abby. We have different exercise runs that we put the dogs in to make sure, here again, that exercise time is a great stress buster for the dogs.
Absolutely. Obviously dogs have to go out and relieve themselves, but we take that one step further. We talk about like reducing that stress and getting them out of doors, and and that's what Julie is doing right now. Obviously, Abby's paying more attention to the camera person, but she does this every single day. She's our dog enrichment person, and it really is about enrichment. It is about making their lives better, and so. And that's like a three-pronged program as far as like exercising is extraordinarily important, but also reducing the stress by giving them things that keep their mind busy.
And 10 minutes of human touch.
Right, exactly.
That socialization.
Yeah.
It isn't just about, well, we gave them food, we gave them water, we gave them shelter. They need human touch.
Absolutely.
They need to have that affection and that attention. And so, again, we do that day in and day out to make sure that these dogs, before they're placed into a home, are getting the attention that they need. And it also gives us an opportunity to find out, is somebody coming down with something? Does somebody maybe have diarrhea? Is somebody, coughing? Is somebody, does maybe somebody have something in their eye? And, it doesn't sound like, well, how often does that happen? But we have to remember, in a shelter environment, because they're stressed, their immune system is stressed, and so they would be more susceptible to coming down with something.
And you're talking about handling 250 animals, Cheryl. I mean that is really something that is a team effort. That isn't any one or two people that can handle that. That comes from everybody and all employees. So everybody has a responsibility here, and really our priority is the care of the animals at this time of the morning. So. Well, let's move on to something else, Cheryl.
Okay.
Well, Cheryl, obviously we have a lot of area to cover here at the shelter. And
13,000 square feet.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of floor.
That's a lot of floor.
Every single day, it gets mopped. It gets swept, and then it gets mopped.
And disinfected.
Right.
So obviously that is in itself a job, because think about all the flooring that we have here in this building.
Well, you have to move everything around. You're working around the other people that are trying to clean condos and other cat cages that are on the floor, working around them, and it's just very time consuming. And then of course, because there's so much floor space, you're constantly changing your water.
You're changing your mop head. So, and again, because one of the, primarily, we're trying to avoid, disinfecting, you disinfect one area and you don't want to track anything.
So you're not
going to
be mopping in the back where we have new animals coming in, where people may have tracked something in.
Sure.
And then you're not going to take that mop and then come up in the lobby area and then mop up.
And there's actually like a sequence to this. There's certain areas that you do first and then areas that you do last.
So it's almost like a dance routine where it's got to be a little choreography there.
Little choreography, whatever, yes. So let's move on to another thing that we need to do, Cheryl.
Another thing that we need to do is every day we're cleaning cat condos. And the cat condos are the individual housing for cats that maybe don't do as well with other cats. And or maybe have a special diet. So they need to have that individual attention. And here again, just like the cages, we're not going to remove them from that environment. But again, we need to make sure that if they've spilled their water or spilled their food, we want to make sure that we get them clean bedding, clean bowls, that we've scooped their litter boxes, and to tidy up their environment, again, without removing them, so
That's
that
correct.
they feel safe in that environment.
Right. And that is so incredibly important, Cheryl, that they feel safe in that environment, because, you know, the number one thing that happens to animals in shelter environments is stress. I mean, stress is one of our biggest enemies, and reducing that stress and keeping it as at a minimum at best is really a challenge.
Right.
And so we are always looking into ways that we can make this easier and better for the animals, so that
well,
we
and
can.
I don't know if people truly understand, cats especially, they hate change.
Yeah,
And so when they're being bounced around or moved from place to place, they really don't appreciate that. So we really try to help them control their environment. They're more relaxed when they think, oh, I can control this little space. And so by leaving them in their area and cleaning around them and making sure that they have the fresh food and water and bedding is really all they need. And of course, again, that human touch.
Absolutely.
Well, Joni, we also have to clean our community rooms, our cat galleries, whatever people want to call them, where we have several cats living together in one room. Usually what they do, again, this is in a particular room order. Again, if we have any cats with upper respiratory, they fall to the bottom of the list. So we always clean the healthiest animals first and work our way down to those that may be just getting over an upper respiratory infection.
A little iffy, sure.
Yep, down to those that are most ill. So when we're in a gallery, if we are introducing any new cats, we can see that they just finished cleaning the introduction cage. That's one of the pink cage that we're showing, with the cats in there, and taking care of that. Then we move on to, once their cage is clean, then what we're going to do is we're going to empty out the food and water and pick everything up, and we're going to clean the floor. We have to, scoop all the boxes, and we're going to have to wipe down all the surfaces that are in there, all the walkways, the chairs, everything that we can possibly wipe down, and just, again, getting the litter dust off and picking up any litter that they've spilled, and making
Cheryl,
it neat and tidy.
One of the things that we do use here, we just don't use regular rags. We use Swiffers here. And the reason we use Swiffers here is because obviously
Swiffers grab everything.
They grab everything, and that includes, obviously not just the hair, but anything that might be shedding off of a cat.
Any bacterial
types of things. And so, trying to, again, keep the dander down, keep as many things off the surfaces, and keeping that area as clean as possible. Obviously you can disinfect, but that isn't always as effective.
Right. Well, and I think it's important to point out too that some of the chemicals or disinfectants that people sometimes use can be very harsh and harmful to the animals that are in that environment.
Right.
And for that reason, we use a lot of bleach mixed to the right consistency, because here again, bleach itself can be hard on the lungs, so it has to be mixed to the right ratio. And we use Dawn dish soap as a degreaser.
Right.
So we're using things that are pet friendly.
Sure.
That aren't going to cause overwhelming odor. Or smells, and aren't harsh on their feet and on themselves.
Right. And and that's something to really think about, Cheryl, because we have to, you're right, you got to use something pet friendly. You can't, we can't go around and be spraying like Windex all over the window while cats are in the rooms.
Right, because of the ammonia that's in there.
So it's really something, it's always a challenge in a shelter environment. And the fact is that we feel really good about where we are with this, but we're always trying to improve our methods in how we clean, and obviously to clean within.
And some of these cleaning methods, we learn this from other agencies that have tried, and when we started using the Swiffers, I think we were all kind of like, well, is that really going to work? And it really does work. It really does. They really do pick up a lot of things. And again, we need to use a Swiffer in just one particular room. We're not going to take that Swiffer into another area and cross-contaminate.
Right.
And I think it's also important, the galleries are cleaned every single day, and then on a rotating basis, once a week, one gallery is totally emptied, and the cats are removed, and the room is actually disinfected with a with a special disinfectant that
Right.
we use. I think it's similar to what we use in the dog kennels, where we let it sit,
Right.
and then we do a rinse.
Right.
We wipe the room down,
Right.
so it gets a really thorough cleaning. Not
Right.
that what we're doing on a daily basis isn't, but you know, we all do spring cleaning or fall cleaning,
Yeah.
you know, where we really, you know, shake out all the rugs, and that's basically what we do in the galleries too.
Right.
On a rotating schedule, every room will be, you know, really taken apart and disinfected, in addition to the daily cleaning that
Right.
that you see being done right now.
Yeah, and it's, again, nonstop.
And it's very time consuming.
Very time consuming and costly. Because, you know, if you think about this, shelter work is all people driven, as far as, you know, 7 days a week, 365 days a week, a year. So from a payroll perspective, for the number of people that you need to, you know, to manage that, it can be costly. The Swiffers, just people don't think about that, but if you're using 3 or 4 Swiffers in a room in a day, you know, that can get costly as
Right.
well.
It
So
adds
there really are a lot of, you know, there's a lot of cost involved in supplies and people, but
And
you
that's
know,
why we appreciate when people come and pick up our wish list and they see that Swiffers are on there, bleach,
Right.
Dawn dish soap, the things that we really use on a
Right.
daily basis. It's so important if the community, if anybody out there can help by donating those things. It really, you know, yes, donating cleaning supplies maybe isn't the most glamorous thing, but you are really directly helping the care and well-being of these animals by donating those
absolutely,
items.
Cheryl. I mean, it is so important. It is something that we do every single day, and we couldn't do as good a job as we feel that we do without these things.
Right. And so, you know, maybe if somebody wants to donate some bleach, but they want to donate something fun, you know, buy some cat toys and tie it onto the handle of the bleach bottle, and
There you
you know,
go.
make it a little fun.
Super. Well, Cheryl, you know, it's been, I hope, you know, something that's been very enlightening for people. And again,
Better understanding as to why we're not open in the morning,
Right.
that we're not just here having tea and crumpets,
Yeah.
waiting for the doors
well,
to
I
open.
do have coffee though. I will
Well,
admit
you
that.
can have coffee. Gotta have that pick me up.
Yeah.
So we can, you know, have your coffee. But there is a lot of things that are going on here at the shelter behind the scenes
Right.
before we open to the public, so that we make the building presentable for when they come in to
Absolutely.
visit us.
Right. So with that,
Happy tales to you.